How do I stop justifying spanking and hitting and screaming at my kids? That's a common question I've had over the years. I've been partnering with parents now for almost 5 years as we break cycles. And that's a common question. And it's like, well, why are they questioning that? They're the ones justifying the behavior. Why are they trying to ask how to stop? Because a lot of the justifications and the excuses that we tell ourselves that keeps us spanking and screaming and hitting our children and yelling all the time are the same. We're justifying behavior we were programmed and conditioned to do because it's what was done to us and it's what we've been collectively been taught to do, whether it's been by religion, family, or society. So there are habitual, programmed thought forms and beliefs that actually justify hitting our children to get what we want, screaming at our children to get the behavior that we want. Another few common questions I get over the years is, why do I keep spanking and screaming at my kids? How do I stop believing that hitting my children and screaming works? Let's talk about it a little bit. Stop justifying hitting or screaming at your children by saying the following. I have told them 55 billion times, so that's why I had to hit them. Or so that's why I had to scream at them. And after I screamed at them or hit them, that's when they listened. Stop justifying why you do the very patterns and habits that you want to stop doing. Because then what you're really saying is spanking and screaming, hitting people to get what I want, or screaming at people to get what I want works. And although it might appear as though it works in the short term, many of us can testify that the long-term ramifications, not worth it. You might not notice it now, but in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you will. Sometimes you don't even have to wait that long. There's no right or wrong here, but this video is specifically for those who are watching my content because they don't want to scream or spank anymore. They want to create their life from peace. That's not really going to happen if we continue to justify and excuse hitting people to get what we want and screaming at people to get what we want. Part of the reason we justify it is because we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that there's more power in fear and force than there is in peace. The moment that you are pushed to the brink, to the threshold of where you're about to scream or spank, that is exactly your invitation to expand and to level up beyond your current capacity to hold space for yourself. It's actually a gift when your child pushes you to that moment, because they're not doing it diabolically. If they weren't the ones that were pushing you to that moment to expand, life would do it in other ways. You're constantly growing. You're not done. No, you're not done leveling up. You're not done realizing the love that you are at your core, the compassion, the peace, the presence. Every time that your child does something that triggers you, if you started today to just say, hell yes, and to sit with what you're feeling and to hold space for it, but not even that. Don't wait until you're triggered to try to prioritize your peace. What are you doing throughout the day that is a literal action step that says through your actions, I care about my inner peace. I care about my inner joy. What are you doing throughout the day to self-regulate and to stay grounded and centered? Don't wait on your child to break the cycle. Don't wait. Stop waking up in the morning saying, today's the day that my child's going to operate from a high level of emotional intelligence. Today's the day that my child is going to be the bigger person. You brought your child into this world. Embody peace, embody compassion, embody what you want them to embody. Be the example. Stop expecting them to break the cycle and prioritize your peace throughout the day and in the heat of the moment as best as you can. Show them that that's possible. If I continue to believe that spanking and hitting my child gets me what I want and that it's the only way that they will listen, why on earth would I stop if that's what I'm believing? Really, it's those thoughts and that belief that's perpetuating the pattern. When you take spanking and hitting people off of the table completely, then you have no other way than to communicate in other ways. And there are infinite other ways that communication can occur, that the conversation can go with our children without hitting them and screaming at them. Drop the guilt and forgive yourself for everything that's happened in the past. You were programmed and conditioned to do so many of the things you're trying to stop doing. I help parents rewire their inner world so that they remember that peace is their natural state. To get my free guide, direct message me the word peace and I will send it and more your way.